Okay, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not kidding, just gentlemen. Welcome back to FTRL. And you join us, of course, for the final round of GT1 Season 13, Week 10 at the Nürburgring GP circuit. It's been a fantastic season once again here in FTRL. We have got, as you can see on the right there, you can see the table. The Drivers' Championship was sewn up last week. Just unbelievably consistent performance again from our multiple times champion. I don't even know how many times it is now. T. Smith, you can see there, I think it's 13 wins over the course of 9 weeks. 3 races a week, so 13 wins out of 27. He's pretty much won 1 in 2 races, and so once again a very deserving drivers champion in T. Smith. Still a few other places to play for here in the final week, plenty of points on offer. Just having a quick look now, you can see there is a couple of good little battles going on a bit further down the table. The closest ones I can see, definitely still a chance of a podium for Aaron. So we've currently got Pagani in second on 445. Rom currently holds third on 412, and Aaron is 18 points behind, which is doable, certainly doable. Probably mainly depends on the Group 3 race, obviously worth a lot more points. So we'll see how he gets on. Still a chance for podium there for Aaron. A bit further down there is just 1 point I can see between... Well, it's actually between Positive Ross and Jono. I don't know if we're going to get Jono tonight. I think we are. Let's see if he's in at the minute. He's not yet in the lobby, so we will see. Might be a chance there for Ross to jump him. Obviously, Jono's missed a fair few weeks already. He nearly missed this week because he thought the race was yesterday at one point. So yeah, we will see if he turns up. And then a bit further down, you've definitely got the battle at the bottom as well. Just Mikey H and Bread Is Your Daddy, 7 points between them. They will be fighting to try and avoid the wooden spoon. Or maybe take the wooden spoon. Maybe they need a wooden spoon. I don't know. Do we have an actual wooden spoon to give the person who finishes bottom of the table? I doubt it. But we'll see how they get on. But I digress, because obviously, as you can see there, the real battle is for the Constructors' title. With Jono's absence, unfortunately, Team Premature Acceleration have fallen away. They finished a bit early. 889 points, they are not going to catch the top 2. And below them, Team Send It have got a 4th place sewn up ahead of Lose and Booze. But the absolute crunch battle tonight is at the top for the Constructors title. So Drop the Mic currently second, 1,073 points. Team Brexit lead by just 3 points. So after teams of 3, 27 races, just 3 points in it. 3 more races to go. So what I'm going to attempt to do, bear with me, because I don't know if it's going to work. What I'm going to attempt to do is update the points live and show you them on the screen after the each of the first 2 15-minute Group 4 races, and then possibly in the middle of the final Group 3 race, as and when the positions change. We'll see how well I can pull it off. Okay, let's get to the track. Saw someone floating in midair for a second, but I think we're okay. Who have we got in? Oh, Fever's just dipped a beak into the chat. Good evening, Fever. Good luck tonight, my friend. And got JP in as well. Good to have you in, JP. and rattling. I forgot to plug my keyboard in, which we'll need for those sweet replays that we've been seeing over the last few weeks. Let's see if we're running. Yes, indeed we are. Perfect. Okay, so it should just be a couple of minutes until qualifying kicks off. The Nürburgring circuit is... It can catch you out. It's not the most difficult circuit, I'd say. It's like most of them, difficult to get right and do really well. But most of the corners are relatively straightforward, I'd say, with the... Depending on the cars, probably in the Group 3 cars more than these sort of Group 4 cars, there's probably the chance of that final chicane catching a few people out, but we will see how they get on. Let's just go back here and go on board. So on board with Lennon, so this is the one I'm talking about, so just see the 1 minute warning. You've got to get a lot of pace through that chicane and keep up your times. You've got to really commit to it, and it's easy, as we see there for Lennon, it's easy to get a penalty by overcutting it. Equally, it's easy to sort of try and commit to it, half back out, bump over the curb, and then get your car in a bit of a state. So that might be the bit to watch. Okay, here we go for the start of qualifying. Oh, thanks, JP. Tell me the mic is a bit quiet. I think it's more that if you turn your volume up, it's probably more that the game sound is a bit loud. Because the mic is pretty much on full. So I'll drop the... not to show any favouritism to one team over the other, but I will drop the mic slightly and then adjust the game sound a bit more, and then if you turn your volume up, hopefully that is a bit better. Let me know if that's okay. Terry Fisher in the chat saying it's coming home. It is indeed. We've very much got a England versus the rest of Europe battle going on tonight. Team Brexit, 2 Germans and a Belgian in Unsafe Release, Romelson and Fieber versus the 3 Brits of Lee Cole, Pagani and Aaron. So those are the guys to watch out for. The purple cars, Aaron in the sort of classic wind livery, Pagani in the purple as well, and Lee should be too. It's gone for the dairy milk livery, very nice. And then you'll see pretty much identical red and white liveries as designed by Unsafe Release for Team Brexit. So for Fieber, Rom and Unsafe. So those will be the guys to keep an eye on as we go through these races. So we've got another just over 6 minutes of qualifying. I think a lap is probably about 2 minutes-ish, maybe a bit more in these cars perhaps. We'll have to see. Regardless, they're probably only going to get 3 flying laps for qualifying, so not a lot of time to put in your best time. Just coming around for the end of the outlap now, and it is Lennon who is going to lead us away for the first flying lap of qualifying. Closely followed by Aaron, who's quite possibly going to look to get a toe off him. Go on a lap on board with Aaron. So this, having negotiated the very tight first right-hander, so a succession of left-handers here, just trying to keep the pace up, but getting the line through this section is absolutely crucial. You need to stay quite wide as possible, just so you can swing it over the curb and over the close to the edge there, you can swing it out quite wide out of that corner without getting a penalty, so there's an opportunity to keep your pace up. Through left hand, the third gear, keeping the power down, and slam the brakes on, tight round this corner, and then accelerating out away down this short straight section down to the next hairpin. This is probably one of the trickier corners, this hairpin, because it can catch you out. You think it's sort of a standard hairpin, you hit that, you think, alright, I'll accelerate, and then it turns a little bit more, and you just have to make sure you get the right line. Through the S's full power in these Group 4 cars. That might not be the case when we get to Group 3 cars with the tyre wear. Quite possibly you can keep your footing through there, but it's a little bit trickier. Nice and quick through there from Aaron, and again around this corner, he's gone a bit wide there, Aaron. You've got to make sure you get a good exit, because there's a long straight of the track all the way down here. I mean, it's not straight, but you are full throttle, absolutely. Coming in now to this tricky chicane. You see Lennon's pulled away a little bit here, so expect him to set a faster time than Aaron. Aaron's taken that chicane nicely though, that's gained him a little bit. And then round the final corner, and Leonard setting a 2:03.6. Aaron not too far behind at 2:03.8. We'll be looking at the others to see where they come in. Ross and Pagani immediately jumping those two. Pagani takes the lead at 2:02.5. Anybody else going to go quicker? Not yet. Waiting for T. Smith to come over with a 2:03.0, so nobody within 4/10 of Pagani on that first lap. But what we have seen consistently through qualifying throughout this season is people just taking a lap or two to warm up. You don't get a lot of time, but it is enough time for some of them just to build on it, and then you see the second and third qualifying laps come in faster, faster, faster. So at the minute, after lap 1, Pagani leads by 4/10 of a second. So let's keep an eye on T. Smith and see if he can close that gap down over the course of lap 2. There we go. Just waiting for the next split time for T. Smith. It's 2/10 of a second up at the minute. So a little bit more work to do if he wants to take pole on this lap. Pagani at the minute still holds it. He will be over the line at the end of this lap before T. Smith, as we see the faster times starting to come in now. Lennon, Aaron, Ross all setting faster times, and in fact Positive Ross goes second. T. Smith over the line. He does improve, but not enough. It does get him back in second place, just ahead of Ross, but still 2/10 behind Pagani. A bit further down, Unsafe Release has got himself up into 4th, Lennon 5th, Aaron in 6th, and then we go down to Fever, Lee Cole, Rom, Blue Flag, Houdini's Wi-Fi, Junkie Support, Ready to Daddy, and at the minute, just Mikey H. A long way at the back. He should set a faster lap here, and he does indeed. Jumps himself up to 12th, ahead of his wooden spoon rival, Ready to Daddy. Jumping back to the front, we're at the final lap of qualifying now. Pagani holds the lead by just a shade under 2/10 of a second. Can he hold on? In fact, can he go quicker? Ross ahead, you can just see there, picked up a 1.5 second penalty, so that will be his qualifying pretty much done as time just about runs out, so everybody will get a chance to finish this lap, or pretty much everyone. We've got a couple of stragglers at the back, which there will still be fine. Let's head back around to the front and see if Lennon can improve his time as he comes around the final corner, so last chance for Lennon to improve. 2:03.2 is his target. He's not far away. Does go slightly quicker, and that keeps him ahead of Aaron, who comes in just 7 thousandths behind. Pagani has gone slightly quicker as well, and T. Smith is off the track. He is off the track, so it is not going to be an improvement for T. Smith, and barring anybody else coming through with a massive improvement, it looks like Pagani is going to take pole, which is an immediate boost for Team Drop the Mic going into this battle for the Constructors' Championship. Unsafe release, you can see there in 4th. And we've got some mind games going on in the chat already. I mean, not even from any of the competing teams, but yeah, Len's got to have his 2 pence worth. Okay then, let's go. Your grid for race 1: Pagani, T. Smith, Ross, Unsafe Release, Lennon, Aaron, Fieber, Lee Cole, Romelson, Blue Flag, Houdini's Wi-Fi, Junkie Sport, Just Mikey H, and Redditch Your Daddy at the back. So final round of the season, race 1, week 10. Got 4 red lights, and we are away. So Pagani getting a good start there. Still ahead of T. Smith. You can see Ross looking to make his way round the outside. Aaron is looking interested as well a bit further back. Unsafe Release holding the inside line at the minute, and he's got his way ahead of Ross. A bit further back, everyone a bit more bunched up. Lee Cole has made his way to 7th. Houdini's Wi-Fi in 8th, and it's not been a great start for Rom. He's dropped to 9th and is now under pressure from Lennon and Blue Flag and Mikey. Rom holding the inside line at the minute, maintains 10th position. A lot to think about for Rom tonight, holding on to his podium in the Drivers' Championship and obviously the team competition as well. Back to the front, Pagani leads by 0.4 of a second from T. Smith. So these two immediately making a break. 1.5 seconds now to Unsafe Release, who is being followed closely by Ross and then Fieber. Nice little train forming here already, all the way back to 10th. After which Blue Flag seems to have had a little bit of trouble. He's dropped back 1.2, 1.3 seconds from Rom. Redditch Your Daddy just behind him. Junkie Sport and Mikey now drops to the back. So T. Smith is closing back in out the front. Just under 0.4 to Pagani. Pagani's taken that chicane really, really well though. Stretches the gap a little bit and it's a good first lap for him. 15-minute race, so just coming around here at about just over 2 minutes a lap. We'll be looking at 8 laps in total. And Pagani leads us to the start of lap 2. Battle now for 4th. Fieber has made his way forward. He has picked up a slight penalty. That won't be an issue for him at the moment. Ross holding on for now. anyway past as we go on board with FIBA. You can see ahead that Unsafe Release has managed to stretch away a little bit of a gap. FIBA keeping it close to the inside, very, very briefly dropping to first there and then deciding it was a bad idea. It's one of these situations for FIBA where he probably just needs to be patient. He's got Aaron right on his tail as well. Despite the fact he's very, very close to Ross, he is going to look to make the move as he knows. He backs out. See if he makes a mistake trying to make the overtake, he probably lets Aaron through as well. And Aaron really is one of the guys that he's going to be racing against tonight. He needs to be aware of. Here he comes, looking down the inside into the hairpin. Cuts the curb a lot. That might be another penalty, slightly wide, and that's let Ross back in. And in the background, Lee Cole just taking the scenic route. It's not really cost him anything. He's not managed to gain anything from it either. And what we can see here is that it has come to pass. FIBA tried to make the move. It didn't work out for him, and he has lost his place to Aaron. He's going to look down the outside of turn 1 to immediately take that back. No way through. A bit wide in the background is Lennon. He has made his way up to 8th, being closely tailed by Rom. A bit further back, Blue Flag still battling with Houdini's Wi-Fi. Junkies' support not too far behind. And Mikey and British Daddy at the back. So quite a few people picking up penalties now. Pagani is not doing too bad. Stretched out the gap to T. Smith to a second. That won't be anywhere near enough for Pagani's liking, but if he keeps setting those sorts of lap times, 2:02.7, pretty much identical lap times, the two of them for lap 2. Pagani is now starting to stretch the gap. This is a really good lap for Pagani. And these guys look to have just settled down a touch. In the background now we see Rom trying to make the move on Lennon. A little bit of door panel bashing as they come out of the right-hander and head down towards the chicane. So we just saw FIBA try to make a move here and it didn't go well for him. Lennon is going to try and make a similar move. He's possibly a bit further ahead. Rom keeps his nose in, but Lennon keeps it on the track and keeps the place. So good work from Lennon there. A bit further forward, Lee Cole is challenging FIBA now. Round to the end of lap 3. Very, very close, you can see. Lee looks to the inside, but not close enough to make the move in the end. And in the background, the battle continues for 8th. Lennon is clinging on at the minute. Some great battling going on down here in the mid-pack. So we see Houdini's Wi-Fi go a bit wide. As I said, you can go fairly wide there. You can go pretty much as wide as you want without picking up a penalty. That has allowed Houdini's Wi-Fi to keep the place. Lennon, Rom, Lee Cole, FIBA, Aaron, Ross, Unsafe, T. Smith and Pagani. So Pagani still leads. The gap is still about a second. Pagani has set the fastest lap of the race. 2:02.5 now, so those lap times still coming down. Anything T. Smith can do. No, nothing, you know, the title already sewn up, nothing really for him to battle for in terms of position or trophies or championships tonight, but you know you'll still want to win. You don't win that many championships without wanting to win every race, regardless of what's at stake. Pagani doing a really good job at the minute, driving really consistently. 2027, 2025, and now a 2025 again. 7 thousandths between lap 3 and lap 4 for Pagani. So ultra consistent, and similar for T. Smith, he is now picking up the pace as well. So we'll come back to those guys towards the end and see how that works out. Unsafe running a pretty steady race in third at the minute. But at the minute, it looks to be advantage to Team Drop the Mic at the minute. Bugatti leading, Aaron in 5th, Lee Cole in 7th, versus 3rd, 6th and 8th. 14 Brexit. And now we have a direct battle once again between the two competing teams. Aaron trying to hold on to 5th ahead of Fieber. Once again, Fieber's having trouble because he's trying to find a way past Aaron, but every time he tries, he loses a little bit of time, and then Lee Cole is right on his rear bumper again. Rom looks to have finally got the better of Lennon in his current battle, but for now anyway. Lennon is right there, still less than 2/10. Is he going to look to make a move? Not yet. Still no way through for Fieber as we head round to the start of lap 6. Once again, just ultra consistent between these two. T. Smith has pulled back a 10th. It's not going to be enough. He needs to find a little bit more. There's only 3 laps to go. And safe a further 5 seconds back. Ross now looks to have broken away from the guys behind him, so a fairly comfortable 4th place for Positive Ross at the minute, although he does need to think about, or at least start to think about getting rid of those penalties. 1.4 seconds. Aaron Fieber and Lee Cole still together. Further back, Rom is doing everything he can to try and consolidate 8th place ahead of Lennon. Lennon's got more to think about now because Blue Flag has made his way back into contention and is right up behind him. Houdini's Wi-Fi looking interested as well. A bit further back, it's all gone a bit wrong for Just Mikey. 5 seconds back from British Daddy, who is now looking to challenge down the inside to the hairpin on Jungle Sport for 12th place. Gets the inside line, bit of a bump, but he does get the move done. So 12th place at the moment for British Daddy. Going back to these battles a bit further up, Lennon may be looking to make another move here on Rom. Just yet, he's going to hang in behind, maybe try and make that move at the chicane again. Probably not close enough this time, I would say. Lennon is going to have to bide his time over the final 2 laps. Aaron just starting to pull away from Fieber. Not quite out of slipstream range, but over half a second. So just a little bit more comfortable for Aaron. We'll see what that gap comes down to at the end of the straight though. Gap at the front is coming down, and not only is it coming down, Pagani has a 1.5 seconds of penalties that he's going to have to get rid of at some point before the end. finally, the ultra consistent lap times just slipping a fraction. Pagani just shading above 2:03.0, whereas T. Smith set his fastest lap of the race at 2:02.588. So taking a good almost half a second out of Pagani on that lap. Pagani has opened it up again a bit, but he really has to start thinking about bleeding off that penalty. Really not sure where is best to do that on this track. You'd think the slower corners, the hairpin at the end, halfway through, turn 1, perhaps. Let's see what he manages to do. He has got the gap back up to a second now, so he's got a little bit of breathing room, but I would not be comfortable with that amount of penalty to get rid of. Ross is catching unsafe here as well for third. So chance for positive Ross, although he again has got 1.4 seconds of penalties to get rid of. We're just going to have another look here at Aaron and Fieber coming down to the chicane again. Fieber is very, very close. Aaron goes defensive. Fieber looks to the outside this time. If he can keep his nose in, he'll have the inside line for the next corner. But Aaron sees him off once again. It's a really good defensive driving from Aaron as they come around to start what will be the final lap of the race. So as we come into lap 8, it is Pagani who leads 1 second from T. Smith, but Pagani with a second and a half of penalties to get rid of. Back in third, unsafe release, and behind him you can see Ross is now trying to deal with his penalties so that he can make a challenge for the podium here in race 1. Aaron has still got Fieber glued to the back of him, and even a one-place switch either way could be crucial come the end of the night. Behind them, Lee is also keeping a watching brief. Meanwhile, we've missed it, but Lennon has got back past Rom into 8th, so not good news for Rom. He would have been hoping for more coming into this final round than 9th place. Blue flag still there in 10th as well. Houdini's Wi-Fi has dropped off a little into 11th. Junkie Sport, British Daddy, and then at the back, Mikey. Still about a second at the front, but Pagani's still not got rid of those penalties. It's going to be a full 2 seconds if he doesn't manage to get rid of any of it. What can he do? He's not got a lot of corners left. Still nothing from Pagani. A bit further back, unsafe has made the position a bit more safe from Ross, so it looks like third for unsafe. Aaron's still trying to hold off Fieber with Lee behind. We're just going to come around as Pagani comes around the final corner. He's 1.1 seconds clear. He's going to have to try and get rid of the penalty on the line. He's going for it. And he hasn't managed it. I don't know whether... Well, we'll come back to that. Unsafe finishing in a very well-deserved third place. Ross in 4th. Aaron needs to beat off his penalties as well, and he does manage it successfully. So Aaron in 5th. Fieber 6th. Lee Cole 7th. Lennon in the end does come home ahead of Romelson. Houdini's Wi-Fi in 10th. Blue flag 11th in the end. Lost out to Houdini's Wi-Fi at the end there. British Daddy, a very well-deserved 12th place there, having pulled the move on Junkie Sport a few laps back. And then it will be Mikey to bring it home for 14th. So this is the point of the night, or the first point of the night, where I have to try and do some quick maths, some quick computer work. An unsurprising winner for the first race. Kept his nose clean, kept out of the penalties, and that is eventually what won in that race. I suppose that is something that T. Smith can gun for tonight, is winning fully 50% of the races in the season. Right then. So as you can see on the screen now, that was the state of the constructor's title at the start of play today before race 1. And if I'm quick enough about it, I can show you what has changed. Here we go. This is now where we stand. It was Team Brexit 3 points clear from Team Drop the Mic. Ignore the order that they're in there. I wasn't clever enough to change it on the fly. But now you can see that Team Drop the Mic, provisionally of course. There's always potential stewards reports, although I didn't see anything, but you never know. So these will all be provisional. But as it stands, Team Drop the Mic are now in the lead of the constructors by a single point. So they very much had the edge in that race. Obviously Pagani bringing it home for second definitely helped. But there was literally, I mean, if we look at the race results again, let's go back here to the main race. This is the difference, and this is what will make the difference. 1 place between Pagani and Unsafe. Pagani just coming in ahead. Aaron coming in just ahead of Fever, and Lee coming in 2 points ahead of Rom. So a position switch either way. That is what is determining who holds the lead at the minute. And it is a 1 point advantage for Drop the Mic. And we have got, there's no room to breathe, we have a 1 minute warning for the next race, so let's get straight back into it. Oh, good. It was muted. That's good. I was just double checking that I'd muted my mic. I'm still, as you might be able to tell from my voice, I'm still a little bit ill. Just a quick mute of the mic so I could blow my nose a bit. I just had to double check it was actually, yeah. Oh, you are right. Thank you, Fever. I completely forgot about points for pole position. So what I'm going to do is add that on now so I don't forget later. And what that does mean, I apologise, Fever, despite being somewhat preoccupied by, you know, racing for the constructors title, I've found time to point out that you do get 2 points for pole position, which Pagani did do. So in fact, Team Drop the Mic lead by 3 points going into race 2. So anyway, race 2, here we go. Can barely keep up. Just Mikey H on pole, reverse grid of course from the results of the first race. Junkie Sport behind him, Bread Is Your Daddy, Blue Flag, Houdini's Wi-Fi, Rom, Lennon, Lee, Fever, Aaron, Ross, Unsafe, Pagani, T. Smith, and we are go. So Just Mikey leads us off, but Junkie Sport gets the better start on the inside, so Junkie Sport is going to lead us down into T1. Blue Flag looking interested as well for second. Oh, and we've got some people wide. We've got Houdini's Wi-Fi wide, and there's contact a bit further back. Bread Is Your Daddy's involved, Fever's involved. That could promote quite a few people, and I would suggest that Rom is probably quite a good bet to finish quite high up in this race after a disappointing race 1. What that does of course mean is that he starts quite high up the grid, and he's already made his way into 4th and is now looking to challenge Mikey for 3rd. Again, we can see people wide in the background and see Pagani back there challenging T. Smith. Losing out at the minute, Bread Is Your Daddy. Started near the front, all the way down to the back straight away, just behind Positive Ross. So Junkie Sport is in first at the moment, followed by Blue Flag and Mikey just trying to hold on against Lennon, but Mikey's wide. Oh, narrow rather than wide, I should say. Just got a wheel on the grass on the inside there and had to recover. Mikey then not sticking to the track as much as his Spider-Man livery might suggest. So down to 4th now. Rom is looking to challenge him. In the background there's a massive clump of cars coming around the corner. Lee Cole and Aaron leading them through, but behind them it is Unsafe, Pagani, Fever, T. Smith all challenging each other as they come down towards the chicane, so we'll keep an eye on these guys here. Prediction in the chat from Lennon, he has gone for himself winning this race. So let's see how that turns out. Oh, and Mikey's cut the corner, and that's going to bring him back into the clutches of this gaggle of cars, and he's going to end up holding them up. So Aaron and Lee have made their way through into 5th and 6th. Rom is still 4th. But at the end of lap 1, it is Junkie Sport who leads. Junkie Sport, if you recall, has, I believe, done the business before in race 2. Some really good results for him. Just looking back, and yeah, I am right, he did get the win in race 2 in Alsace in week 6. So he's definitely capable of pulling away from the field at the start of this reverse skid race and bringing it through for the win. Lennon is up there. He's got a little bit of work to do if he wants his predictions to come true. 2 seconds behind Junkie Sport at the moment. But the real battle, and the one we should be focusing on, is further back at the minute. Once again, Team Brexit and Team Drop the Mic have ended up battling directly with each other for position. Rom, Aaron, Lee Cole. So 3 Drop the Mic boys are now together on track. 5th, 6th and 7th. C. Smith is getting himself involved as well. But Unsafe and Fever are going to need to pick up the pace here. Unsafe in 9th and Fever all the way down in 11th. Now looking to challenge and get past Mikey, which he has done successfully as Mikey goes wide. So what can the Team Brexit boys do to catch up? What Unsafe does not want is T. Smith behind him, challenging for his position. So we see people very close to the inside of the track. Young Sport trying to break the toe there down the straight, just being followed all over the place by a blue flag. Holds the position for now. A bit further back, Lennon is still there, running his own race in 3rd, quite comfortable at the moment. Much less comfortable is Rom. Aaron and Pagani now all over him. Lee has dropped back a little bit and is now being challenged by Unsafe and T. Smith, both of them bumping and barging as they try and find their way through. T. Smith was getting past Unsafe, but Unsafe is not letting it go. Got his nose down the inside, but still can't retain the position. Let's T. Smith back through. Fever is still 11th. He got himself back up and now he's lost out to Ross. No way past Lee Cole at the minute. One of the best defensive drivers out there. Now we see Pagani and Aaron working together, trying to hunt down Rom. So through we come for the start of lap 4. It's very tight at the front now. And Blue Flag challenging down into turn 1 for the lead. Gets it done on Junkie Sport, and Lennon is having a look as well now. If he can stay and hang on all the way around the outside of these two corners, he will have a chance, but Junkie Sport gets in front again. Holds on for now, parks it on the apex. No way through for Lennon. That is letting Blue Flag get away, however. No race wins for FTRL Blue Flag so far this season. He will be desperate to break his duck in the final round here. He's got a real chance. He's pulling away as Junkie Sport and Lennon battle. Blue Flag, having got past only a few corners ago, has pulled out a second lead already. Further back, Rom coming under increasing pressure from Pagani. Aaron sticking in the slipstream as well. It's being dragged along. And a bit further back, Unsafe is still doing a good job in holding off T. Smith. Both of them, meanwhile, have got past Lee Cole, who dropped to 9th. So Lee moving more into direct competition with Feber, with Positive Ross interspersed between them at the minute. Was Unsafe a little wide there? He looked it. Here comes T. Smith. You can see it's already passed Unsafe on the straight. Unsafe release in the rearview mirror there, drops to 8th place, so Team Brexit going backwards at the minute. As T. Smith bumps it over the curbs, you can see how unsettled the cars get there. He's kept it pointing in the right direction and now can set off down the home straight, but the question will be, Unsafe release, Lee behind him with the tow, will they be able to challenge and try and get 7th place back? Coming on to lap 5. These guys have all bunched up now. Lennon 2nd, Junkie Sport 3rd. Rom is there, Pagani is there, Aaron is there as well, just about. Junkie Sport is the one losing out. He is all the way down to 5th place now. They are 3 wide into turn 2. Junkie Sport still sticking in. They're still trying to get his place back. He'll now be on the outside for this corner out onto the straight though, which will put him at a disadvantage. Gets shoved a little bit wide, but keeps it on the track. Aaron is there and looking interested as well, and Junkie Sport has just been swallowed up by the title contenders. Rom, Aaron and Pagani all make their way through and set off in pursuit of the leaders. 8/10 up the road is Lennon. And Blue Flag's now pulled out a 2.5 second gap. So as I said, 5.5 minutes to go. 2.5 second gap, a real chance for Blue Flag to claim his first win of the season. There's a horse outside my window. Why is there a horse outside my window? Rom is doing a really good job here of leading the fight back for Team Brexit, ahead of both Aaron and Pagani. Team Brexit are going to need to improve overall. What's done them so well this season has been their consistent performances as a team. All 3 of them putting in good performances race after race, week after week. They're going to need to improve here. Unsafe release in 8th at the moment. As we see Lee go a little bit wide there, but Feber is down in 11th. At the back, Just Mikey H is in 12th at the minute. Houdini's Wi-Fi behind him, and then British Daddy has lost it a bit this race and looks like he's given up for this race. Leonard still holds on to 2nd. Rom is closing in, but he's got Pagani and Aaron, both of them, to worry about. Junkie Sport makes a very late move on T. Smith. There's a big dive. I mean, he takes the place, but wasn't the cleanest move from Junkie Sport. Looks like T. Smith is going to get the place back. I think Junkie Sport's probably let him have that back. Fair enough. Didn't put much of a fight there. Expect he realised that move was probably a bit strong. So T. Smith into 6th place. Unsafe Release has now also overtaken Junkie Sport, who is again just being mobbed. Ross makes his way up to 8th. Leah suffered here. He's now back in direct competition with Fever for 10th. Lee holds on for now. It's so close between all of these guys. Come through to the start of lap 7. So 2 laps to go. Blue Flag's lead has contracted slightly. He's probably still okay, still 1.8 seconds to Lennon. You see Lennon did a 2:03.2 versus Blue Flag's 2:03.6, 2:03.7. So half a second. If it's half a second for the last 2 laps, Blue Flag will be okay. Lennon's got more than enough to worry about as well in his rearview mirror. Rom is closing in. Now just 3.5 tenths behind. Rom setting his fastest first sector of the race as well, and immediately looks for the move on Lennon. Wasn't quite close enough. If he can get a good run out of this corner, we'll be able to make the move down into the hairpin. Every place counts. Will he make the move? Yes, no. Decides to wait. Excuse me. Now Rom looks to make the move. He's bided his time over the course of this lap. He's now side by side with Lennon as they come down towards the chicane. Pagani is in relatively close attendance as well. Rom gets the move done. Or does he? Lennon's coming back at him. He's got his nose up the inside. Pagani is on the outside as well, looking interested. Rom hangs it all the way around the outside, holds on to the place 4 now, but that really has let Pagani into the battle. As they come through the final lap of the race, victory looks close to being assured for Blue Flag. Just needs no mistakes from him on the final lap. Rom is up in 2nd. Lennon goes defensive against Pagani. Oh, Rom's gone. Oh, big collision on the inside. I am not sure what happened. That's not going to help. Oh, it's all gone wrong for Rom. I have no idea what happened there on the inside. Maybe we can take a look at the replay at the end of the race. Absolute disaster for Team Brexit. Promotes Lennon to 2nd at the minute, but crucially, Aaron to 3rd, and now maybe 2nd as he challenges Lennon round the inside of the right-hander. Aaron to 2nd for now. Pagani in 4th, and the highest ranking member of Team Brexit at the minute, Unsafe Release in 6th. Rom now 7th after his incident. Ross 8th, Junkie Sport 9th, being challenged by Lee Colt and Fever. Lee looks down the inside. Lee and Junkie Sport both have big penalties to get rid of at the minute. That will promote Fever ahead of both of them at the end of the race. Going back forward, Rom now 7th, Unsafe in 6th. T. Smith looking fairly secure. Not as secure as this man. It looks like being a really good victory for Blue Flag. It was Junkie Sport initially at the start of the race who threatened to get away, but Blue Flag hauled him in, made the move, and has not looked back. A bit further back, there's a real battle here. Aaron has made his way up into 2nd. Lennon is right on his tail. He's not going to get his predicted win, is Lennon, but he might be able to hold on for a podium. Here comes blue flag Ryan, the final corner for the win. Fantastic performance from him, and an equally fantastic performance from Aaron. A crucial second place for him. Lennon in third, Pagani fourth, T. Smith fifth. Unsafe, and Rom just beats Positive Ross to the line. Literally nothing in it. Phoebe in the end ninth, ahead of Lee Cole. So they have picked up a crucial couple of positions at the death, but that incident at the start of the final lap on the straight for Rom may well change things. So well done and congratulations to Blue Flag. Gets himself his first win of the season. I'm going to see if we can very quickly I wonder if we can do it in time. I'm going to go for it. We need to see what happened there. It may have a massive bearing on the championship. Hopefully, they don't start without me. Right, let's have a look. Wait for it to load up the start of the race. I'm going to skip all the way ahead to the start of lap 8 so we can see what happened to Rom. There he is. Okay. Let's be very, very fast about this. Frantic mashing of the button. Not seen since the days of those early Olympics games. Right, there we go. So, Rom coming down the straight. Lennon's behind him. He's just lost it in the braking. I have no idea. Hits the brakes late. I think maybe he thinks he's outbraking himself, tried to turn it in, and it's just gone all wrong. It's a really strange incident. But it has really cost Rom there. Right, rapidly back to the race lobby. Right, we are back. Right, 1 minute warning, we will be ready to go. Annoyingly, in my haste to check out the replay and see what went wrong with Rom, I forgot to record where everyone's finished, so I no longer have the updated tables. Which is a bit of a shame. If anyone did capture it, put it in the chat and I can update the table as we go. I'm not willing to take a guess at it because, as I said before, every point counts. So as we wait for the start, this will be obviously the Group 3 Porsche 911s. 40-minute race this time, as per usual. Tyre wear set to 3 times. We usually see a mixture of people trying to stop early off the medium tyres and make the softs last longer, or going for 2 sort of more even 2 or 3 faster stints. So let's see what happens this time. The final race of GT1 Season 13 here on FTRL. Here is your grid. Reverse championship order, so we start with British Daddy on pole, just Mikey H in second. Following them, Houdini's Wi-Fi, Junkie Sport, Lennon, Lee Cole, Positive Ross, Blue Flag in 8th, Unsafe Fever, Aaron, Rom, Pagani. All together, the constructors, title contenders, T. Smith at the back. So for the final time this season, we have green lights and we are away. British Daddy leading us off, Junkie Sport looking to get a good break in the background. He's got the inside line. Holds it, Blue Flag coming up very fast in the background, giving Junkie Sport a little bump. Houdini's Wi-Fi slightly wide. Cones are being clattered all over the place. Everybody, though, does look to have made it through. There's a lot of cars wide out of turn 2, though. Okay, Leonard's going for the win this time round as well. He's 4th at the minute, so again, giving himself a chance. So he's not won one this season. Just one more chance for him to do that. So release going a bit wide there. Seems to have cost him, fortunately. Lead to the inside, briefly, but doesn't yet make the move on Junkie Sport, but Junkie's gone a bit wide. Lead down the inside. Junkie Sport will have the inside line for the next corner, though. So we see a puff of dirt from the milker car of Aaron. These guys have got to be pushing it in this race. Have to. Fever is wide at the back. It's not going well for Fever. And at the minute, Team breaks it at the back. Rom 13th, Fever 14th. Although I didn't get the exact positions in race 2. I can definitely say that. Drop the mic. Picked up more points than Team Brexit, so they are ahead coming into this final race by quite a few points. So Team Brexit are going to have to pick it up. Just challenging Leonard for 3rd now. Classic Falcon livery there on Positive Ross's car. Gets himself into 3rd. Is Lennon going to look to bite back? He's level. Oh, and Unsafe Release appears from in the background. Thought he was going to go for a late move there for a second. Well, Lennon's claimed 3rd back. Somebody is wide in the background. I didn't see who that was. Oh, it's Junkie Sport. Junkie Sport's gone very wide. Rom is immediately in on lap 1 from the medium tyres and onto the softs. So a different strategy for Rom, getting himself into some open air. He'll be hoping now to set some faster laps. So Pagani currently 9th, just behind the race 2 winner Blue Flag. A bit further up, Aaron and Lee Cole are looking to challenge Unsafe Release for 5th. Out at the front though at the minute, British Daddy. So we've seen him do this a few times in the Group 3 races. often starts at the front, because obviously we always do the race 3 in reverse championship order. He's got good pace, and he started again on the soft tyres and a 2.7 second gap over Mikey, who in turn has a 1 second gap to Lennon. So once again, British Daddy is going to look to get away. He's never quite managed it this season in these races. He gets quite a long way into the race and then it just gets away from him towards the end. So maybe this is his time. So we see for third, Lennon and Ross continue to battle. Lovely exit from the chicane from Ross. That was really good. Just bided his time, let Lennon make the move, and then got him back.
Nice.
Oh, big wiggle from unsafe release there. Still in 5th, but the car is looking a little twitchy. Oh, 3 wide into turn 1. Blue flag makes the move ahead of Lee Cole. T. Smith is there looking interested as well now, trying to overtake Pagani. Feber in the background. I do like this car. As I say, this is nowhere near as bad a car to drive as some of the other Group 3s that we've had this season. Certainly the Ferraris that we had the other week. Everybody very wide there, Pagani all over the grass. And Ross has already caught up at the front, you just saw there. Ross looking to put the move on Mikey. In the... is that a Pinky in the Brain livery? Fantastic effort. Forget how it goes now, forget how the tune goes. It's been too long. I am old enough, it's just been too long. I just started singing what I thought it was on my head, but I ended up in the Addams Family. I'll have to see if I can try and remember it. But for now, Ross is through into 2nd, and not only that, unsafe release is up into 3rd. So of course, although Team Drop the Mic had the edge in race 1 and 2, unsafe release is currently leading ahead of all of them. Much bigger points on offer. I will do the total for the points at the end, so the provisional total, so we'll be able to go back and get the race results from race 2. But for now, as we come to the end of lap 3, again, we're probably looking at 40 minutes, probably with pit stops, 20 laps total, maybe 21. So 3 laps in, long way to go. But Brady Your Daddy's lead is up to 3 seconds. Just Mikey has now been swallowed up by the pack, all the way down to 8th at the minute. Aaron is 5th, followed by Blue Flag, and then Lee Cole. Mikey's still in there and battling. Pagani looking for a way through alongside T. Smith. And Fever is still there as well. And a big gap back to Houdini's Wi-Fi. He's not stopped for the pits, so something's happened there to Houdini. Fully 9 seconds behind Fever. And Ron, meanwhile, having made his pit stop, is already past Junkie Sport because Junkie has pitted as well. So a pit stop looks to take about 18 seconds by the look of Junkie Sport's lap times there. So we'll bear that in mind for later to see how it plays out. Let's go back to the battles that are happening in the mid-pack. Probably T. Smith and Pagani closest at the minute. Although behind them, Fever is desperately trying to away past Mikey, sorry. Pinky and the Brain. Na, 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 na. I've got it. One is a genius, the other is insane. Oh God, I'm old. Rom is just clawing back chunks of time, so let's just bear in mind that 18 seconds. Rom is 23 off the lead at the minute. So I wouldn't count him out of this. British Daddy's still doing a good job, although the soft tyres are starting to show signs of wear now. Much more so, obviously, than Ross behind him on the mediums. You can see the difference in lap times, actually. Ross and Unsafe behind him are setting faster laps now than Bread. So the strategy of starting on the softs may not work out for him. What can Aaron do? Leading the charge for Team Drop the Mic. Can he gain on Unsafe Release a couple of places ahead of him? He doesn't necessarily have to overtake him. He just has to stay close, probably at a place behind him, given where everybody else is. Just so everybody is aware, obviously with the Group 4 races it was basically 1 point per position. This race it's 35 points for the win, 30 for second, 27 for third, 25 for fourth, 22 for fifth, and 20 for sixth. And then it goes down by sort of a few points, 2 or 3 points per position. So even more so than in the first two races, one position could make all the difference here. And Aaron is slowly gaining on Lennon. A few tenths on that lap. In the slipstream. So let's run with Aaron for a minute and see if he can gain any further. It's a nice tight line round turn 2. See in the background in the rearview mirror just how tight the cars behind are bunched together. Flicking back through the pack, blue flag has got Lee Colt all over the back of him. Pagani is there as well. Pagani won't want to jeopardise his teammates' chances of making up a position. He has to be careful of T. Smith behind him, and even more so Fieber behind him. Pagani following his teammate through. Very familiar by now. Kraken livery of Lee Cole. Oh, Lee runs slightly wide. Is that going to jeopardise Pagani's run? Is he going to go for the overtake? Lee signals for Pagani to move to the right, and Pagani makes the move. So that's good teamwork between the two of them. Lee knew that he was going to cost his teammate time there and just signalled for him to overtake. Lets Pagani free to chase down blue flag. So good work there from Lee Cole, quickly recovering after his error. But now he has to hold off T. Smith. Back to the front, British Daddy. The lead is now cut to 2 seconds. So he's led this race pretty much from the start as British Daddy. But he is now slowly being reeled in by those on fresher tyres. Albeit harder tyres, but they are still setting quicker laps. Unsafe, not so fast. Ross is setting some pretty quick lap times on the mediums. Unsafe, not so much, and he's now coming under pressure from Lennon. Behind them, people are wide. Aaron was a little bit wide. Pagani was more wide. But in the background, Lee looks like he is going to lose out to T. Smith. Indeed he is. And now can he hold off Fieber? That is crucial. Does for now. Lee a bit wide again. Just about holding on. His tyre wear is significantly more than Fieber's, however. That's not going to be helping him. Phoebe is all over the back of him here. Still Lee holds on. Over the chicane, but he's wide and he's sliding. Phoebe's got the inside run here. Should get the move done. Lee tries to hang on and keep the pace all the way around the outside, but it is not going to happen. And Phoebe sweeps through to take 9th place. So, Team Brexit hit back just slightly. As it stands now, Unsafe Release is in 3rd, with Phoebe in 9th and Rom as the wild card. 18 seconds off the lead, 19 seconds off the lead, but already made his pit stop. Can he take those soft tyres to the end? It's a big ask. Perhaps he's planning on 2 stopping. We'll see. Meanwhile, before Team Drop the Mic, Lee Cole has just slipped behind Phoebe into 10th. Bugani is 6th and Aaron is 5th. Bugani making his way round his teammate there. T. Smith is a bit of an enigma in all of this. He's sat right in the middle of these 2 teams battling, and obviously he wants to get the best result himself. You can see there he's not pulling any drastic moves. There's no need for him to do that. He will probably just wait for the slow exit from the corner or a mistake, and then just try and make his move. We'll see if he does here. Down into the chicane on Aaron. He's definitely got the greatest speed. Aaron is still ahead on the inside line for the start of the chicane though, and T. Smith does just back out. Just lets him keep the position for now. Sensible. At the back, Houdini's Wi-Fi and Junkie Sport are battling. And now at the front, we are about to see a battle as well. Positive Ross has gradually reeled in Bredish Daddy over the course of 4 or 5 laps. Bred's tyres now looking distinctly second hand. He's gone nearly half race distance on the softs. Might soon be time for him to pit though. Ross still going on the mediums. 7/10 a gap at the minute. Ross is just inside slipstream range, coming up to the straighter sections of the track. Excuse me. Anything Ross can do. Unsafe Release, I would say, is probably holding up Lennon a bit here. Bit of a twitch from the pink livery car there as he comes out the corner. It's not really affected his pace though. You can see in the background now, T. Smith has made his way into 6th, making the move on Aaron, dropping him to 7th. It's a bold move, trying to get out of somebody around that chicane. Anything can go wrong. We've seen a couple of people, including Phoebe there, just sort of back out at the last minute. Probably the wisest move, especially at this point in the race. There's no need to do anything too risky. And now, Lennon has found a way to take 3rd place. Unsafe, just pushing the car a little hard, you feel. We've cut to him a few times and the rear end has been twitching and swerving all over the place. Desperate to make up the position. No way through as of yet. Still British Daddy holds on to the lead. Made it all the way to lap 10, almost halfway point of the race. I think it's safe in saying that, yes, there will be 21 laps in total. At least for the front runners. And now, as we approach the halfway point of the race, can Ross make the move? Backs out at the chicane again, but British Daddy has gone completely over the chicane, and that will net him a penalty. And if Fat Bread decides it is not worth the battle, he's pushed the tyres as far as he can push them. And he is going to come in from just about still from the lead. Comes in for his pit stop. T. Smith in as well off the medium tyres, so T. Smith about 4 seconds behind, but he will come out on the softs. So the real question is, where do we see Rom Elson come out? Pitted, of course, at the end of lap 1 to get off the medium tyres. How much of an advantage does he have? I feel he has to make another pit stop though, that's the thing. I don't think he can do another 20 minutes on those softs. And he's come out just 5 seconds ahead of Bread and 9 seconds ahead of T. Smith. So with another pit stop to go, Rom is going to have to put in some pretty quick lap times. And you can see that the tyres are starting to give up on him, because after a succession of 155 lap times, his last lap was at 157. So a bit of an incident there. Houdini's Wi-Fi in the pits as well. Positive Ross takes over the lead, 2.3 seconds ahead of Lennon, who has got unsafe release still glued to his rear bumper. And Pagani is closing in as well. So unsafe lap times dropping, allowing one of his constructors' rivals, in fact 2 of his constructors' rivals, to close in. Although Pagani has now pulled out a 3.5 second gap on Aaron. And meanwhile in the background, Fever is making steady progress. Up to 7th now and challenging blue flag. Fever trying to keep the nose in. Gets a bit of a bump from blue flag and decides it's not worth the challenge at this time. I like blue flag's livery, I have to say. He comes around for the end of lap 11. We have got a whole host of people into the pits. Aaron, Lennon, Fever, unsafe release, and Lee Cole, all in at the same time. All off the medium tyres, and they will all be onto the softs for the final 10 laps. Here they all come. That promotes Rom all the way up to 4th. 7 seconds ahead of T. Smith, who has already managed to get past British Daddy. Maybe having a bit of trouble on the mediums now. Lennon not too far behind as well, having made his pit stop. So in terms of people who have made pit stops and people who haven't, Rom is now your net race leader. But, of course, I may be wrong. I'm quite often wrong about these things. I really don't think he can push those soft tyres to the end. He might try. If he does, it's either a genius move or one of the stupidest things we've seen this season. And we've seen some stupid things. But as we can't tell yet, I will reserve judgment. nonetheless, T. Smith definitely in a very strong position. I'd say probably the strongest position at the minute. Even if Rom does decide to run the tyres to the end, his lap times are going to suffer. They were already suffering. T. Smith just 5 seconds behind, as we see Ross coming into the pits now. So Ross definitely also a challenger for the lead. And that leaves pretty much just Pagani out on his own. And looking to go longer on the medium tyres. Perhaps give him an advantage towards the end of the race, getting onto the fresh softs. So Rom is there, T. Smith is there. Here comes Ross. Can we select him? He's there, he's 4th, just behind T. Smith. So as it all starts to filter out, Rom is... We wait for Pagani to pit still. He leads from Rom, 4.5 seconds ahead of T. Smith. 1.5 ahead of Ross, 1.5 ahead of Lennon. Then we get back into the constructors contenders. Unsafe release holds 6th place. Closing in on, in fact already overtaken, sorry, Bredijadadi. It's Feber who's closing in on Bredijadadi. Blue flag in 9th, and then Aaron Leacol back in 10th and 11th. So this constructors title is not over by any means. As I said, I didn't quite, unfortunately, thanks to my own unique brand of idiocy, haven't got the live tables going, and we'll go back and review them at the end, make sure we get the correct results in place, and give you a final provisional total before we go off the air tonight. What can these guys do? At the back as well, still a fairly close battle going on. Junkie Sport took a similar route to Rom in pitting very, very early to get onto the soft tyres. He's got a 20-second gap over Houdini's Wi-Fi, who's 2 seconds ahead of just Mikey, and we've got Pagani in the pits. So the race leader is in the pits. He will be overtaken by at least Rom Elson, and almost certainly T. Smith and Ross as well. So we will see, and Rom is in as well. So as suspected, called it right this time. Rom is going for the 2-stop. He will come out on fresh softs, not too far behind Pagani. That could be a crucial battle in the race for the Constructors' title. Rom will be counting the seconds here. Away he goes. Where does he come out? Quite far down. Right behind Junkie Sport, in fact. Not very long behind Junkie Sport, I would imagine. Junkie's struggling on the tyres, but Rom doesn't want to be held up even a little bit, and he is being held up slightly. So I don't think this strategy, as of yet, has really worked for Rom. He's going to have to put in some super quick lap times. You can see he's a full 20 seconds behind T. Smith, who pitted not that long ago. So T. Smith is very much now your race leader. Still being hunted down by Ross, though. So T. Smith now setting times in the 154s. It's super fast, as it's been all season. See if Ross can respond. Unsafe Release doing a sterling job again. He is currently 3rd, but just 6/10 back to Lennon. Fever not too far behind. So the Team Brexit boys are starting to come good. Bredijadadi pretty much lets Pagani past. I think he knew that's not going to be his battle. While Pagani's on the soft tyres and has title rivals to chase down. 2.5 seconds between Pagani and Feber. Further back, Aaron and Leacol are 9th and 10th, not too far ahead of Rom, who will be on the slightly fresher tyres. So once again, that could be something to look out for. Towards the end of the race, oh, Bredijadadi having a moment. This is about the point where it all goes wrong for him usually. Starting to slide around on those mediums a bit. If this was a 25-minute race, he'd be doing fantastically throughout the season in the Grip 3 races, but 40 minutes just getting away from him once again. And Aaron is the next person to have him in his sights. Let's go on board with Aaron, see if he can get the move done quickly. Oh, where's Brad going? Well, there you go. Job done. Bit of an exchange of light-based communication there between Aaron and Bread is your daddy. Bread probably saying, thank me for that petition later. Oh, it's very close. Tell it's very close. At the front, T. Smith not getting away. 155.0 on his last lap. 154.7 for Ross. So Ross is actually closing in slightly. And in the background, Unsafe Release doing the same. So, as well as the Constructors' title, the race win is not decided yet. Especially as we look further back. FIBA has set the fastest lap of the race at 154.3. And we currently have less than 6 seconds separating the top 5. This is big points for Unsafe and FIBA. Will it be enough? There was big gains for Drop the Mic in the first 2 races, but there are bigger gains on offer here. Unsafe Release at the minute is struggling to hang on to 3rd place. He's been challenged by Lennon down straight into turn 1. Lennon thinks better of it. This definitely seems to be a penalty type of track. Plenty of them littered around. 1.5 seconds for Lennon, same for Unsafe Release. Even T. Smith's got himself a penalty at this stage. Oh, I thought Junkie Sport was going slow, but he just slowed down for the chicane. British LA sticking in there now. He seems to have got the hang of the medium tyres. 2 seconds ahead of Lee Cole. He'll look to see if he can hold on. This could be the result for him that lifts him off the bottom of the championship table as well. Ahead of Just Mikey. He's currently down in 13th, only ahead of Junkie Sport. It's not worked for Rom. I just don't think doesn't seem to have the pace in this car. Onto the soft tyres again. He's setting 155, mid 155s compared to, compare that to his teammate FIBA, who's setting 154s. Could it be crucial? It will all filter out within the next 10 minutes, or at least the next 10 minutes plus the time it takes me to do the maths. Unsafe just seems to have fought off Lennon for now. He's still there, still right there, but not quite within the sort of 1 or 2 tenths that he was before. And he's had a bit of an issue with the chicane there, which has dropped him back to 6 tenths. So Unsafe okay for now. And Ross again just not letting T. Smith go. T. Smith has upped the pace though, 154.8 on that last lap. What can Positive Ross do? Be a real feather in his cap if he could get the win here. Ross is another one of those who has not had a race win this season. To do it in the final Group 3 race of the season would be quite the achievement, and he's definitely going for it. Faster again in Sector 1, closes the gap to under 1.5 seconds. A bit further back, FIBA is still pushing on. Lap times have slowed slightly now, but still a bit quicker than most of those around him, except for Pagani, who is putting in some absolutely storming lap times here. A 154.295, the fastest lap of the race on lap 15. Immediately following that up with a 154.0. That is blistering pace from Pagani. He knows he needs to catch and overtake FIBA. And if possible, move up towards Lennon and Unsafe as well. That really could make all the difference to the Constructors' Championship. So all eyes on Pagani for the time being. Did, of course, run his stint on the mediums later than everyone else. He is giving the advantage now. But of course, what that does mean is that he has to find a way past all of the cars in front of him. So a 1 second gap currently. It is coming down still. once again, penalties to think about though. We are under 7 minutes to go, so there will be 4 laps after this one. Pagani with 1.6 seconds of penalties at the minute, setting another insane lap time, 1:54.6 this time, compared to FIBA's 1:55.1. So Pagani gaining at the rate of about half a second at the lap at the minute. He will be on FIBA, if not this lap, then the next one. And meanwhile, FIBA is closing in on the cars ahead of him. So everybody is starting to concertina up as we come towards the end of what has been yet another fascinating FTRL race, as Lennon looks to make the move finally on unsafe release, and it looks like he's got it done. He has indeed. So for now, unsafe release relegated to 4th place. Must be difficult to keep focus here, knowing what's on the line. Unsafe release certainly not giving up the fight. Only a 10th behind Lennon. Looks to the outside of the left-hander to get himself the inside line. Just about keeps it on the track. That's a really good move. Yeah, he's got it done, and it might give FIBA a chance as well. FIBA gets a good exit out of the corner. Lennon's still there, still challenging. FIBA is there as well. This is getting very, very tight, and in the meantime, Pagani just holding back by a few tenths, waiting to see what happens. As for now, unsafe release regains 3rd place. Not a great exit out of the chicane, but still holds on. Look at this at the front as well. Positive Ross 1:55.1, T Smith 1:55.6. Ross is right on him, less than half a second. It is all to play for here. Unsafe still holding 3rd, coming around from the start of lap 19 of 21. Still holds off. FIBA is there. Pagani is there as well. Pagani is founding. I can barely get my words out. It's a battle now as to what goes first. One of these guys' concentration or my voice. Pagani has made his way up to 4th. The loser in all that is FIBA, down to 6th temporarily. Lennon is in 5th, trying to hang on in amongst this battle. At the minute, that has released unsafe release into 3rd. Have to keep an eye on the battle for the race win as well. We'll try and flick back and forth between these 2 groups. We'll have a quick look to see where everybody else is towards the end of this race as well. But at the minute, it's Pagani flying the flag for Team Drop the Mic, trying to make up those places, trying to give his team a chance of holding on to the lead they had built up earlier in the night. This has been fantastic racing all around once again. So we always get an FTRL, and I just saw a peek there of Ross looking to make the move on T Smith, and indeed he has done. On the straight, T Smith taking the opportunity to bleed off his penalties. I think that's probably sensible. He's got rid of absolutely all of them, and yet is still stuck to the back of Ross. He will have to tow down the start-finish straight, so a chance for him to make the move and get back into 1st. 2 laps to go. Ross leads, followed by T Smith. Unsafe release in 3rd. Not too far ahead of Pagani. In the background, you can see Lennon sweep to the inside, followed by FIBA. Lennon holds the position for now. Pagani has made the move. Pagani has made the move on unsafe release. Pagani is up to 3rd. Still with 1.5 seconds of penalties, as has unsafe, as has Lennon. If this stays, basically, if they finish exactly like this with these penalties, that will promote FIBA all the way up to 3rd. He's the only one with no penalties. Gonna have to find a way to try and get rid of them. Just look quickly a bit further back. Aaron is on his own in 8th. Lee Cole is in 9th, but battling with Rom, so that could yet prove significant as well. Lee has 2 seconds of penalties. British Daddy has dropped to 11th. Houdini's Wi-Fi 12th. Junk Sport 13th. Mikey is now back in 14th. T. Smith has made his way back past Positive Ross. So it worked out for T. Smith there. Decided to give the place to Ross in order to drop his penalties, and during the course of this lap he has got back ahead to the tune of 1 second. So it could well be another win for T. Smith, and that would be fully 50% of races won this season for him if he can hold on, which would be quite the achievement. Especially when you consider 2 out of every 3 races will have him probably at or near the back starting. Pagani is 3rd, Unsafe 4th, Lennon 5th, and Fever in 6th. We are coming round towards the final lap of this race, the final lap of the night, the final lap of this incredible FTRL season. Oh, Fever is wide, Fever is slightly wide, he's kept it on the track. Needs to keep his cool. Lennon making the dive down the inside into 4th. Makes his way up. He could prove critical in this race yet. Will he challenge Pagani as well? The penalties are still there. They're racking up, if anything. T. Smith looks to be clear. Ross has picked up a penalty as well, so it looks like the race win will go T. Smith's way to deny Positive Ross his first win of the season. But in the meantime, it's not so much track position at the moment as it is about penalties. Pagani 1.5 seconds of penalties. Lennon 1.1 second. Unsafe release 1.9. Feber nothing. And Feber is within a second of Pagani in 3rd. I mean, this is the very definition of going down to the wire. Pagani is stretching the gap now. He is nearly a second ahead. It looks like he will beat these other guys to the line. But what will he do about his penalty? Lennon still holds 4th. Stretch out a slight gap to Unsafe release. This is it now. The end of lap 21. Oh, and we've got a challenge for the lead. Ross still has a penalty though. He's not going to make it. Has to bleed it off. T. Smith gets the win. Round the corner for the final time. Here comes Pagani. Followed by Lennon, Unsafe, and Fever. What is Pagani going to do about his penalty? He's going to try and bleed it off. And he's managed it. He has managed it. Fever beats Lennon and Unsafe. And in fact, Unsafe has dropped all the way back behind Blue Flag as well, who caught up at the end. Aaron finishing in 8th. Rom is going to come through to finish 9th. The strategy not working out for him, but he does finish ahead of his team rival Lee Cole. British Daddy led for a long time. In the end, finishes in 11th, but still comfortably ahead of Houdini's Wi-Fi and Junkie Sport, who are battling to the end. But again, it looks like penalties are going to come into play here. Just Mikey has already finished in 14th. Here they come round the final corner for the final time. And it will be Junkie Sport who takes 12th from Houdini's Wi-Fi. So I have pretty much ruined my throat getting to the end there. It was worth it. Right, so let us go through. If you hang on with me for another few minutes, I will have to go back to the replay of lap 2. So it will be a good few minutes. But I should be able to give you a provisional result for the Constructors' Championship. I mean, it could well be anyone's. The changing of positions at the end there, I get the feeling it was vital. Aaron in 8th, Lee in 10th. Okay. I mean, what an end that is to an unbelievable season. We've seen some fantastic racing. We've seen a few incidents here and there, some very hard, but mostly very clean racing all the way through. The standards just go up and up here in FTRL, in my opinion. It's been an absolute pleasure as well to commentate on it throughout the season. Of course, the next season is never far away. I believe we start, in fact, in just 2 weeks. So all I'm opening the replay up for race 2, it's not to have another laugh at Rom's accident. I'm just going to skip to the end and double check the results. Right, here we go. If there's a quicker way to get to the end of a replay, someone please let me know. Oh, don't do that to me. Oh, you... I'm just building the suspense. That's all I'm doing. I have to go all the way back through it now again. Ugh. Right, not quite to the end this time, because it finishes the replay. Alright, so we have blue flag come over for the win. Aaron was second. Pagani fourth. Unsafe release sixth. Ron seventh. Ross in eighth. Rom seventh, in fact, yeah. Ross eighth. Nicole dropped to 10th behind Feber. Right, that's the bit I was missing. I do want to double check this, just to be sure. Feber in 9th, Lee in 10th. Okay. So that was what you can see there is the standings at the end of race 1 tonight. In fact, it was slightly different from that, as Feber very correctly pointed out. We put the micro actually on 1109, which I've now taken into account. So, what I will give you here is, if you bear with me, the final standings, or at least the provisional final standings. As I said, as we've already seen tonight, there's a very good chance that I've got something wrong. There's also a chance that we could see Stewart's inquiry. Which could alter the positions quite significantly. Nonetheless, I'm just building suspense again here. In reality, I'm just killing time because I'm being slow. who Team Drop the Mic were 3 points ahead going into race 2, totaling up race 2 and race 3, leaves us with Team Drop the Mic on 1193 for the season, and Team Brexit on 1187. So by my calculations, and once again I'm going to say provisionally, just one more time, by my calculations that means that Team Drop the Mic have taken the title. And there we go. Just 6 points in it at the end. There was a total of 26 points in race 2 for Rom, Unsafe and Fever for Team Brexit. A total of 32 points for Pagani, Aaron and Lee. And that was really where the damage was done. A second place for Pagani and a fourth place for Aaron. Fever in the end coming home in fourth in race 3. Managed to get 55 points for Team Brexit. But it was once again the third place of Pagani that did it. That gave him 27 points, and that gave a total for Team Drop the Mic of 52, so just 3 points behind. So they had enough in reserve in order to hold on and take the Constructors' title. So massive congratulations to Pagani, Aaron and Lee taking the team title there, pending any changes. I'll say it once more for luck. What is beyond doubt is what was already decided before this week, the individual championship once again for T. Smith. So big congratulations again to him. Well, thank you very much for everyone who's joined us throughout the season. I really hope you've enjoyed yourself. I definitely have. I'm gonna stop now. My voice is absolutely gone. I'll be back racing in FTRL next season in GT1, which I'm looking forward to immensely. We've got another cracking season planned already.